All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm Joshua Dickey. I'll be reading from my book, A Patriot's Journey, Forging Hope. And I'll start by reading a quote that I've been starting to do recently. And this one is actually by Tupac. It says, "Death is not the greatest loss in this life. The greatest loss is what dies inside while still alive. Never surrender." And I think what he's saying is, if you give up on life and you just allow yourself to be dead inside and not feel or see the beauty of the inside, what's going on this outside world, then what's the point of living? I mean, what's the point of being on the earth if you can't enjoy God's beauty? Um, it's a crazy thing out there. There's so much to be thankful for and so much to see and enjoy and to do. The worst thing ever is to not take advantage of it. And with that being said, actually, the first poem that I'm going to read today is called Road Trip. It says, "My wife planned a vacation the family was excited to go. I definitely wasn't, but I didn't let it show. Always said we were camping and staying in a tent. We went out to the Grand Canyon, listening to music as we went. At about this time, my anxiety builds up. I'm trying to think of other things while spitting seeds in a cup. I fell asleep fast, but, well, quick for the nightmare dream. I just realized I am the whole security team. After waking up, I sat up in the truck with a gun. I thought, oh boy, this could be fun. As I sat there hour by hour, ever again to think, was I wrong to cower? My wife approaches and says, why didn't you sleep? I said, more worried about your safety to keep. Now we are in the car, next leg of our trip. I am trying to stay awake, so a monster I did sit, riding around with my girls in my car. In order to drive me crazy, we didn't go very far. I will go through it no matter how much it takes. My family means everything, for goodness sakes." And these are true events that happen. And so, case in point, my wife wants to go take the family out on a camping trip. And tell her, I said, I don't really like camping. I've done so much of it in the mountains, in all these other countries. I'd rather not do it. But, she insists, and I don't want my girls not to have some of these, or do some of these activities because I had tried traumatic experiences. So I say, okay, fine, let's do it. So we go out, and we went to the Grand Canyon. And so we actually camped. We had campsites at the Grand Canyon. So the first night, there was a bunch of people there. So it was like, okay, cool. Lots of people. Usually I'm pretty good at turning stuff on and off and talking myself in and out of things and feeling safe. And so it just so happens that night, I was able to reason with myself enough to where I could feel safe and finally go to sleep and rest. And but it doesn't last long. Normally, when somebody on your team goes to sleep, you're at say 50%. Somebody's awake, making sure everybody else is everybody's safe. And when you're by yourself, you don't have that luxury. And we didn't bring our dog or anything, so I didn't have that added security either. So, everything relies on me. And then when we went to Sedona, though, that was a lot more rural. And so, there's a lot more wildlife. There's a lot more things going on, and not by humans. So we're going camping again in Sedona this time. And, I'm just like, okay, fine, maybe it should be fine, even though we're now not by anybody. And so, next thing I know, fall asleep quick, and all of a sudden something just like hits me, and I just, out of fear, just wake up, and now I can't get back to sleep, because I am worried about, my family being maybe attacked by a bear, or some reason I'm just keep getting over and over again feelings of, just not being safe. And it really sucks that, but only affects me. So that's a good thing. In the meantime, Tara and the girls are sleeping soundly. Um, but then sometime throughout the night, Tara realizes that I'm not there. And so she wakes, comes outside and she sees me sitting by the truck or on the tailgate of the truck. And she's like, "What are you doing?" "I can't sleep. I'm just going to stay awake. And she's like, "Is that why you just are sitting with a pistol by you?" It's like, "Nah, it's safety, security. You never know if there's any, bears or anything come around, any wildlife. So I'm ready." And so I really wasn't sleeping much that trip because I had to do the security element, being by myself. And it really just affected, the overall trip. And I wish it just didn't happen that way, but you can't always get what you want. And that's why road trips and everything made me so anxious, and going camping made me so anxious, and it was just difficult for me to do stuff. And even when I brought my dog, it made stuff a little easier with him, because then he would, alert that something's going on. But then it's the fear that something's out there now, and I can't see what's out there, So I'm like, hey, from now on, if we're going camping, I can't do a tent. It just can't happen. I need to be able to secure us, So it's gonna be the toy hauler from now on, camper. All right, next poem. It's called Military Spouse. Where is all the work for the military spouse? When her husband's away, she runs the house. I will have never seen someone work so hard it is crazy. For some reason, civilians think that they are stupid and lazy. She cooks and she cleans and everything in between. She does it with pride, which means it can be seen. Flowers and candy is such a small price paid. The truth is worth more than can be trade. She fills your heart and such with so much joy. You're going to miss her when you deploy. Now you're back. Do you want things to go back to the same? First things start to be pretty tame. If you notice there is drinking and you want to fight, she begs and plays, saying that this isn't right. Please, I love you, straighten out your life. He responds, "Woman, you're not my boss, but my wife." She's getting hurt and crushed every day. She loves them too much, but she can't stay. She takes the kids and went to her mom's when he passed out. There was a very detailed letter saying what this is about. She loved, supported, and did nothing but be there. How was she repaid? He didn't care. Man, the toughest job, I think, in the military is being that military spouse. I mean, hands down. Not only do you have to deal with the military member himself or themselves, but then if you have a family with children, you got to deal with all that as well. Your life doesn't change. It's just every day, still kids, things, activities, and then the only difference is you lose half your team, half your support, gone now. Now you have to be both parents. Now you have to do both jobs. And then when that person comes back finally from the deployment, sometimes they're not the same person. They experience tragic things, and Now all of a sudden they start self-medicating, they start doing things out of the norm, um, and you're thinking, oh hey, that person that you missed is back, and now they can help out again, and now they're isolating. Now they're just almost being another kid, just at a more difficult level. Because no matter what you say to them now is, you're not my boss. Don't tell me what to do. Stop, you know, um, you know, just knock it off. Just worry about the kids and worry about yourself. Stop worrying about me. I'll be fine. And they're met with resistance constantly. Um, and that's kind of where I was. It was um, so much in my world changed and in my head. And so when I came back, you expect people to be mind readers and pick up what you do. And all of a sudden, your spouse is no longer doing it because you think differently now. The way you react to things is different. The things that you used to really enjoy, you're no longer enjoying. Um, say you used to put your family always first for everything. So she'll be like, oh, hey, let's do this. And then now you're getting angry because she's like, why aren't you, involved more in the family? Why is it you come home and all you want to do is sit down and watch TV, and then you're like, hey, is the food done? And then when the food is, then you go and you eat, and then you come back and you sit down again and watch TV again. And then people try to interact with you, and it's just constantly like just doing it from the chair. You're not actually getting up and interacting with anybody. It's just yelling back and forth, to people about what they should be doing. Like you're just an armchair quarterback. And, that's not the life that there used to be. And I was married for 9 years, almost 10 years prior to me having this behavior change. This drastic of a behavior change. Subtle changes, it just happens, But this drastic of a change, like, really threw her off even. And when somebody is your rock, now they don't know how to handle it. They don't know what you're doing. And it's it just makes everything more hectic, and it creates a lot of just tension, unneeded tension. People feel like they're walking on eggshells all day long around you because they don't know if you're going to yell at this or yell at that, because the person that's now in the house, even though they look the same, they're not acting the same at all. So it's just they just get a crappy end of the deal all around, and they don't get any recognition for it. Same with the children. Children don't get anything out of it either, and they have to take the blunt of most things that happen in their families too. And it just sucks. So I do recognize military spouses and the hard work that they do, and I think it's a lot harder doing what they do than what I used to do. It's just nothing but respect I have for them. Just want to thank y'all for listening and the support. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach me at forginghopepoetry@gmail.com. I like to basically end it the same way I started it. Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside while still alive. Oh, come on. So take advantage of life. Be happy with what you get, and live life to the fullest every single day. because you never know when your time's up. Thank you.